Welcome to Warrior of Honor channel. Recent events show that the war is reaching its climax. The parties are exhausted enough to make big breakthroughs, offensive and counter-offensive operations. According to the reports of the General Staff of Ukraine, the Russians are advancing in 4 directions. The first and most difficult is the Bakhmut direction, where the Ukrainian defense forces have been holding back several times the large forces of the Russian troops for the 4th month already. Over the past 24 hours, Ukrainian troops have repulsed several attacks in the Bakhmut area. Russian troops continue to attempt to storm the city head-on, suffering huge losses. The main force in this direction will be PMC Wagner, which has been replenished with Russian prisoners for a long time. The command of this unit absolutely does not spare the personnel and puts it in the forefront. According to both sides, PMC fighters are storming fortified positions without equipment and heavy weapons, literally throwing Ukrainian positions with their bodies. In such difficult conditions, where the Ukrainian army is in the minority, the Ukrainian fighters have time to counterattack. Ukrainian border guards captured the positions of the Russian invaders near Bakhmut. Analysts also believe that the United States frivolously assessed Ukraine's calculation for the defense of the city, considering it political. Russian troops occupy more than 100,000 square kilometers of Ukrainian territory, including several cities, and commit atrocities against civilians. Political and military leaders quite sensibly weigh these factors when deciding whether to retain or cede certain populations. In support of the fact that the Ukrainian forces have chosen the right containment strategy in Bakhmut, experts recalled a similar operation of gradual attrition of the enemy in the early summer of 2022. Russian troops tried for months to break through effective Ukrainian defenses in Severodonetsk and Lysychansk, and only captured Lysychansk after a controlled withdrawal of Ukrainians from the area. The capture was operationally insignificant, and the end result of the Ukrainian defense of the area was the culmination of the Russian offensive in the Donbas. The Ukrainian defense of Bakhmut is likely to contribute to a similar outcome. Russian forces have been moving forces and equipment to the area since May 2022 and have not yet made any significant operational progress, which seriously threaten the Ukrainian defense of the area. According to American intelligence, Ukrainian troops are still in the Saltar and are engaged in heavy fighting on the outskirts of the city. Despite numerous statements by the Russian side about the alleged capture of the city, these words do not correspond to reality. Particularly interesting in recent days is the Zaporozhye direction, where Russian troops have stepped up their forces. During the day, the enemy launched 5 air strikes on the positions of the defense forces and missile strikes on critical infrastructure in the Zaporozhye region. He made more than 20 attacks from multiple launch rocket systems. The southern front remains quite difficult. On combat duty in the Black Sea, Russia keeps 11 of its ships, including 3 rocket carriers with 24 caliber on the sides. In the Sea of Azov, according to the command, the surface situation is controlled by 1 enemy ship. Akyab warns that stormy weather continues, contributing to an increase in the threat of mines in coastal waters and territories. Citizens are urged not to endanger themselves and refrain from visiting the coast and swimming in prohibited areas. The British Ministry of Defense, in a daily report, assessed the situation in the combat zone in Ukraine. According to the agency, in recent days, the most fierce battles have been fought on 3 sectors of the front: Kremenaya, Bakhmut, and Zaporozhye. Bakhmut continues to be the main hot spot at the front. The battles for the city, in which Yevgeny Prigozhin's mercenaries play a significant role on the Russian side, have been going on since July 2022. Military analysts have noted that the capture of Bakhmut is rather symbolic for Russia, but not important from a strategic point of view. In January, the press service of Prigozhin, the founder of PVK Wagner, announced the complete dismissal of Soledar, a small town located 20 kilometers from Bakhmut. Later, this information was confirmed by the Russian Ministry of Defense. The General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine has not yet confirmed the loss of the city. Based on the latest visible advances of the Russian troops, we can conclude that soon the Ukrainian side will have to withdraw from the Bakhmut direction due to the threat of operational encirclement. We will follow developments.